Hi everybody, Angelique here. I have been going through some of my old files and I was really excited to refresh my memory about a framework that I used to use a lot and one that I highly recommend that all technical leaders use, and it's called a SIPOC model. SIPOC. So if you are familiar with lean manufacturing or Six Sigma, you may be familiar with the SIPOC model. Even if you are, I would still suggest you to finish this video because I want to use it in some new ways. But if you're not familiar with it, let me tell you about it. So SIPOC stands for suppliers, inputs, processes, outputs, and customers. And the framework itself is very simple. You just make a column for each one of those categories. And then you take your project, your business, your organization, you can decide what level you want to address. And then you go through and you fill in each category. And the classical use for this model is as a coordinating device. So to get all of your key stakeholders, your key team members to participate in creating this model so that everybody's on the same page about the key inputs, processes, and outputs of your initiative. And if you only used it for that, you would actually be well ahead of many leaders because, as you know, so many leaders struggle to get all of their team members on the same page. Typically, you would post it up on a wall and review it on a regular basis. But when I really started to think more about this, I thought, there are some other ways that you can use this exact same model. So let's think about the different lenses with which we can look at this list and see how we can help ourselves, our team, and our business. So the first one is professional network. So if you look at this model, you have got key stakeholders in all aspects of your particular deliverables. And so the question is, do you know your peers in each of those areas? So do you know your peers that are your suppliers? Do you know your peers who are your customers? Do you know your peers in maybe the manufacturers of the different process components, etc.? If you don't have strong personal ties with those people, then you need to work on developing your professional network. Now, the next way that you can look at this is through a talent development lens. And so, do you have people in your organization who have the expertise in each of the different processes? Do you have expertise in what your customers are focused on? Do you have expertise in what your suppliers are focused on? If not, then you have an opportunity to potentially send them to trainings that are already being developed by your suppliers and by your customers, or sending them to technical conferences, sending them to courses. In some cases, you may realize you actually need to hire some experts in those various areas, but that would be a way to really take a holistic view of your talent development pipeline. And the next way to look at it is through a partnership lens. So can you build strong partnerships with any of the key stakeholders that you've identified in that model? And finally, you can look for opportunities for growth in your organization or in your business. So can you buy your supplier? Can you buy your customer? Or can you find a way to no longer need that supplier and potentially reduce your costs or something like that? So I think you kind of get the idea that once you have this model, again, use it as a coordinating device for all the members on your team so everybody can stay on the same page and understand what the critical components are. And then, every once in a while, maybe quarterly, take a look at this in a more strategic way and identify gaps that you may have in your professional network, in your talent development pipeline, in your strategy, your partnerships, etc. And that is why I think all technical leaders need to have a SIPOC model.